Welcome to the College Investor Audio Show, where we talk about the biggest issues impacting millennial money, from student loan debt to side hustles to building wealth. We will show you how to get out of debt so that you can build real wealth for the future.
Welcome to the College Investor Audio Show, a very fun show today, as of course it is tax season. We have done reviews on like 92 million different types of tax software. A little exaggeration for emphasis, of course, we haven't done that many. It was only really about 10 million, but you get the idea. What if you didn't have to worry about tax software? Which one to use? Which one's best for you? How much income tax do I owe? What about my business taxes? What about that, this, and the other thing? And what if I pick up a side job and a side gig? What do I have to calculate? How do I do it all? I'm so confused. You don't have to worry about that. What if we abolish the IRS? What if we repealed the 16th Amendment because that's what introduced the income tax to begin with? What if all of it was gone? Today, we talk about the fair tax. Come with me as we explore H.R. Bill 25. Yes, this does exist. Many people don't know about it. So the fair tax system is a tax system that eliminates income taxes. All of it, including payroll taxes, including all corporate taxes, and replaces it with a sales or consumption tax. A very big group of a lot of very brilliant minds have come up with 23% sales tax, which would apply to all retail and service transactions. New retail and service transactions. It's important to say new, and I'll get to that in a second. Under the fair tax system, individuals would no longer be required to file taxes. Imagine that. Individuals would simply pay tax each time they purchase something from a store or service provider. New. Although the IRS would no longer be required to collect money from individuals, in fact, they would be abolished, an enforcement agency would be required to ensure businesses appropriately collect taxes from consumers. Most states already have a sales tax and already do this. So the fair tax system most commonly refers to abolishing income taxes and then just replacing it with a sales tax. The system is deemed fair because people are taxed based on their spending rather than the money they earn. Americans for Fair Taxation is a policy group dedicated to promoting the fair tax system within the United States. According to its research, a 23% sales tax could effectively replace all income and payroll taxes and replace all corporate taxes. It is important to know that the 23% sales tax is a tax-inclusive rate. So if you buy something for $1,000, you'll pay a 30% or $300 tax on it. Your total price will be $1,300. Since $300 over $1,300 is 23%, it is fair to call this a 23% rate. However, the effective sales tax rate would be more likely 30% of the purchase price. One of the first objectives of this sales tax relates to people living near or in poverty. Those individuals can barely afford food and rent as it is, so a fair tax system would put them in control. The Americans for Fair Taxation propose a monthly pre-fund, which proactively gives each individual some money every single month to take care of those basic expenses. Every person would receive a monthly check from the government agency. The money would be used to offset the taxes up to the poverty level. While the fair tax system is not part of the U.S. tax code, proponents of the law drafted Bill H.R. 25. This 2017 bill called for a massive overhaul, imagine how much of an overhaul that would take, of the United States tax code. It replaces all income and payroll and corporate taxes with a single consumption tax. The entire tax code could fit in a 5-page pamphlet. The federal tax system in the United States, of course, is primarily a progressive income tax system. By and large, the more money you earn, the higher rate you'll pay. The exact rate you pay depends on your tax bracket, how many deductions and credits you qualify for, and a bunch of other things. While the federal tax system is not a fair tax system, consumption taxes, also called sales taxes, are typically applied in line with the fair tax ideals. In general, all people pay the same sales tax rate. Certain products, such as alcohol or tobacco, may be taxed at a higher rate, of course, while other products like food may be taxed at a lower rate, just like they are today, but all people who buy those products pay the same rate. Typically, State agencies are responsible for collecting sales tax from various business organizations. So, in essence, the states would just take over collecting the taxes, like they already do, for the most part. Pros and cons of the fair tax system. While the fair tax system has some great marketing, it's fair, after all. The system does have its advantages and disadvantages, so here are a few of the key things to consider. Some of the pros: it eliminates IRS filings for individuals. You would not need to file taxes. Neither would businesses, by the way. Incentivizes saving and investing, so the tax is only applied to spending. More productive options like saving and investing can be done tax-free. Less tax evasion at an individual level. Individuals have fewer options to evade taxation. They can't. If they buy anything new or have a new service done, they have to pay the tax. Just some perspective real quick. There are just over 170 million taxpayers in the United States. Introducing the fair tax would boost the taxpayer base to over 250 million, plus it would take care of all of the black market, illegal activity that goes on underground and under the table, and effectively make all of those people pay sales taxes on new products and services. Potentially boosts economic performance. With more money going into savings and investments, more people and businesses may have the funds to build new businesses that can produce new goods and services. Here are some of the cons to the fair tax system. It raises incentives for private businesses to cheat. Businesses who want to undercharge the competition may decide to cut out sales tax collection. This issue could be potentially rampant when businesses deal with cash or checks rather than electronic payments. Tax rates may fluctuate over time. Changes to consumption may drive the tax rate up over time. Although if you think about it, it would be a whole lot more transparent if you raised the sales tax rate since it's only one rate. Anywho, middle-income families may see higher taxes. While the prebates may keep taxes low for people with low incomes, those with middle incomes may see higher tax rates overall. This is especially true for families paying for childcare and other large expenses out of pocket. However, if you are thrifty, you inevitably pay less tax. You're not taxed on used items. Potentially a dampened effect on overall economic growth. With prices going up, many individuals may choose to insource their consumption rather than spending on haircuts, meals out, childcare, or fixing cars. This could lead to a slowdown in GDP. The U.S. doesn't currently have a fair tax system, so what should you do about it? If you like what you're hearing today, the fair tax system would replace complex payroll, income taxes, corporate taxes, etc. with one simple sales tax on all consumption. It would reduce the headache of tax prep, incentivize saving and giving and investing. However, it's unlikely to become law anytime soon. That means filing taxes is significantly more complicated than just paying 30% more for your morning latte. Actually, you might not pay 30% more because there are no corporate taxes. Corporations just shift the tax burden to consumers. This would eliminate that. Anyway, since we do live in the complex world of income taxes and require tons of different software, we really try to make it easy for you by finding the right software program for your specific situation. We have a guide for the best tax software of 2021. You can check it out at thecollegeinvestor.com. Also find links if this perked your interest in discovering more about the fair tax system and HR Bill 25. You can find that at thecollegeinvestor.com as well. Thanks so much for going on this journey with me through the fair tax system. I hope it perked your interest in maybe just a different perspective about taxes. Thanks so much for joining us today. We'll talk to you again very soon.